and seen the play where you basically jump over the pile to help make the steal?
I seen it. It was just a loose ball. He had the ball actually, but I seen a window where I could poke the ball and hopefully get it still, which I did. So I jumped, but I didn't want to touch him, so they don't call it foul. So it was a good jump.
All season long, you guys have been able to just adapt to different circumstances. I mean, last night you lose J-Dub the first 15 seconds of the game, and yet Kaysen steps in, and you guys, I mean, it didn't seem like you guys missed a beat. How much of that comes from the preparation throughout the course of the season and trying those situations out?
A lot. I mean, it's always a next man up mentality. Case came in right away, and I think he had a steal or whatever. So that was huge, and it just sets the tone, and it shows how, the guys on the bench are ready whenever they get their name called. But it all comes from, like you said, preparation, watching film and all that. But it was huge.
Lou, by now people know your defensive intensity, they know your profile on that end. But nights like yesterday, when you're shooting the way that you are, to become the shooter you've become, like, do you sense a level of exhaustion from the guys that you're playing after you're hitting shot after shot?
You talking about me or you talking about
From the guys that are
them?
defending?
I mean, I don't really feel it. I'm just thinking about what I got to do in my job. It's just to play hard, get some stops, and take the right shots offensively. But honestly, I don't really feel it. It's just the only thing I feel is how hard I play and my intensity in there.
And that stretch where you hit multiple threes, and I think it was the second quarter. Just what happened in that stretch? What do you remember from that run?
I got some open looks. I shot the ball with confidence, and it went in. But it's just all the work that I've been putting in and seeing some of the open looks that I be getting. So I just got to step up and shoot with confidence.
The defense kind of feels like you guys are on another level right now. I mean, you've held the Pelicans under to 92 or fewer in every game. What is there something different, or are you guys just really clicking defensively?
We're just competing. We at the right spots, we communicating and all that, and that's what helps having a good defense, and at the same time the protection that we have around the rim is huge. So a lot of credit to that, but it's just everybody competing and really communicating, getting through screens and stuff like that, and playing hard.
Lou, Coach of the Year is going to be announced later tonight. Mark is the favorite. If he does win, talk about how deserving that is for Mark as a guy that's seen him from the G League to now.
I mean, it's huge. Just talk about the success the team has, and it starts with the coach and the coaching staff. So give a lot of credit to them. He's done a great job with us and every player individually at the same time, just how to get them going and how to help them get better. And for me, he's done a great job from my first year to now. I feel like I've been a complete different player, and then I give him a lot of credit to that. And at the same time, he just gave me a lot of confidence. So I feel like it should go to him, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen tonight.
From 5 years ago to now, what's the biggest area of growth that you've seen in him?
That's a deep question. Honestly, I feel like I didn't see. He's been the same to me, honestly. It's people didn't really recognize that because of the success that we had a couple years ago compared to now. But now people gets to see it. But honestly, for me, he's always been like that.
People tend to describe him as relatable. What do you think it is about him that makes him so relatable?
Relatable. I don't know. I don't know why people say that, honestly. But I don't know. Maybe. But from what he's been doing for me and the team, it's been incredible. Like I said, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen tonight.
I guess what I'll ask then is, what do you think it is about him that makes him so easy to gel with, everybody around?
That's just the type of guy he is. He's a head coach, but at the same time, he's just a great person and he's a good guy to be around. And he's a cool dude, funny dude, but at the same time, he knows when to turn to coaching aspect. So, that's just the type of guy he is. And at the same time, coaching, he's did a great job of adjusting to a lot of stuff, and especially during the game and stuff like that. So it's amazing to see that as a player.
You mentioned everything that you've done for you. What does it mean, like, to you personally, to have possibly have the Coach of the Year?
I mean, it's just the trust. I mean, everything starts with him, but then we got to go out there and do the job. And he's been a good job of that. So if he gets the award, it'll reward him. It rewards the team at the same time, just because we all a part of this.
Well, you hit 3 threes in a row in a playoff game on the road, pivotal swing, 14-0 run. What does that feel like on the floor with your teammates, knowing that real time kind of turning a game?
Oh, it feels good. I mean, we're creating our own energy. I mean, this brings a lot of momentum. Just seeing the guys cheering. Me making some shots and us, getting the momentum and making a run. It's huge. So, like I said, it's just creating our own energy, and that was a good start of our run.
You mentioned the work that you put into your offense diet this offseason. What was that, more of a mental work to kind of pick and choose what shots to take, or more kind of like getting more shots up?
A little bit of both. Working on my mechanics, my shot, and at the same time just knowing what type of shot I'm gonna get and taking the right ones. That's a big one too. But I feel like I've improved a lot on that, and now I'll keep doing that.
What's it like seeing the success of that now at this point after putting in so much work in the off season?
It's good. I mean, especially when it's being seen in the postseason where a lot of people is watching. So I feel good. I won't get satisfied. I'll still keep working on it. I still feel like I can improve more. So I'll stay on it.
That you guys have been trying to train yourselves for the last few years, to see that come to fruition in a playoff game, is it gratifying? Is it what's maybe the feeling that goes through the team when that happens?
It has momentum for sure, and he went right in there and had an impact. He had the play where Chet stripped the ball. It was kind of a disadvantage break. Shea turned it over. He sprinted back and made a play on that ball. I think it was Herb Jones that had it. He made an immediate impact. He stabilized us, and the game, was obviously in the balance that early, and those were huge minutes for us.
He also just did that thing that we've seen all season, where he's serving as a screen and roller at 6'3" against defenses that are playing you different ways, throwing zones at you. How important is it to have a guy who can play in those pockets of the floor?
We need everybody to be able to play in those pockets of the floor. It allows us to move everything around, which keeps the opponents off balance. So he had that play where he found Chet in there. He had a couple different screens, and he also finished a lot of plays for us. He also played in pick and roll with the ball with Chet's settings. So, continues to work on his versatility. All that stuff showed up.
Mark, did you ever find the numbers of matchup difficulty for Lou?
I don't know where to find that, but he's, I just know intuitively that he's guarding the main guys every night.
Yeah, and with Shea, we've talked all year just about the level of difficulty between shots he takes off balance, just how unique that is. But to see Dub, as soon as he came back in that game yesterday, he's hitting stuff with his hips away from the basket, he's shooting step backs. What is that like to see almost another guy, a la Shea, hitting those shots?
Yeah, I mean, he's done that all year, obviously. He's a really good shot creator. He's 3-level scorer, obviously, Dub is, and can create 3-level shots. He finds Chet at the rim. He finds perimeter passes for threes. So he's a dynamic offensive player.
Mark, I feel like in the playoffs, it can kind of change how a team operates. What is it that's made you guys be able to just be yourselves throughout these playoffs so far?
I mean, we don't know who else to be, I think every team's like that. It's hard to flip a switch and be somebody that you're not. I think that's why the habit building over the 82 games is so important. And then it's just a matter of trusting that and staying in character. And to our team's credit, I think we've done a good job of that so far.
Do you and the staff have any plans for 5:30 p.m. tonight?
No plans.
Just a regular evening?
Regular evening, yeah.
First ever playoff series for this team. A lot of young guys, but you guys don't look rattled at all. You feel like you've been there, done that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a team that's pretty uncommon. They focus through the noise, whatever that is, and just stay in the moment of the possession and execute. It's the same game. It's playoff setting. It's a little more physical. It's a little slower, but it's the same game, the same things, win and lose. And so we hopefully understand that. At this point we have, and they've just cut through all the distractions and just focused on the next possessions, what we have to continue to do.
Probably doubtful you have to say anything to them to keep them grounded for Game 4, not look too far ahead.
Yeah, I don't really do that. It's just we know what the job is. We got to come out here and execute again. Against a team that's going to, again, we're assuming they're going to be hungry and inspired and prideful. They're going to come out. They've done that every game. They've come out and played with great energy and competitiveness. And to our credit, we've matched and exceeded that to this point. But we're 0-0 when we wake up tomorrow.
Valanciunas has seen a steady decline in minutes. He played 12 yesterday. Do you see that as a success in getting a good player off the court?
Not necessarily. It's just a matter of forcing the opponent to pivot. They've forced us to pivot at different times in the series. And so there's a push-pull with that. And we really can't control the decisions that they make. We know what the menu is for them. They know what the menu is for us. And then whatever they choose to do, we've got to be ready to attack it and adapt to it.
Shea had those 4 steals last night, and a lot of them were on those kind of try to get an entry pass into the post. Just what is it about him that makes him sort of so effective in those sort of scenarios?
Yeah, he's not only him. I thought, Josh jammed one up over here on our sideline with Chet, and Wiggins had one that led to a layup. And then Shea's really good at it. Obviously, he leads the league in steals, and a lot of them are on those. We have to, like I said after the game, we have to be an activity team when we're a little bit smaller. Not only when we downsize at the 5, but a lot of times we have 4 perimeters, even when Chet's out there or Jay will, and so we end up, guarding up a little bit more, and we've got to be really active and feisty, and we've done that well in this series so far.
But speaking of Josh, you had mentioned that he's shown a lot of effort on the defensive end, especially throughout the series. What are you seeing specifically from him that's kind of been impressive to you?
Well, he's been really adaptive. First of all, he guarded Murphy for a lot of possessions, especially in Game 1 and Game 2. He guarded Moore Jones last night, and so those are much different covers. Those guys have much different styles, and it forces you to be pretty nimble. And Shea's done that as well. Those guys have moved around matchups. We've done that pretty much all series, and so he's done a really good job there. He helps us on the glass, and that gets us out on the break where he helps us as well.
Shea was just talking about Lou last night, and he was saying from the point he started playing with him to the point now that he's just been realistic about his development. When you hear that, how do you interpret that?
You said Lou's been realistic about his development. I don't know. I think the thing I'll say about Lou is just to the core humility as a person, not even just as a player. Just incredibly humble guy, incredibly grounded, very just pure individual, as I've told you guys before. And so it's probably in that vein. But Lou's been outstanding in this series, but none of us are surprised by what we're seeing right now. We've been watching this for years now.
Dub talked about in the moments where you guys are taking the Pelicans' best punch last night or a team's best punch throughout the season. It's not just them leaning on you to try and get them back to where they need to be. It's sometimes them also leaning on each other. What is it that you see in those moments that makes you decide it's you that needs to say something or it's them?
We have a young locker room, but we have a strong locker room. Those guys are really connected. They're highly communicative, especially for a young team. A lot of young teams young players don't know what to say all the time. They're willing to work through things together. You see that in huddles. You see it in quiet moments in the building. You see it in practice. They just have a great chemistry, and there's an ongoing dialogue that they have as a team because they have similar ambitions and goals. And so to the degree that our coaching staff and myself and anybody else in the organization can enhance that, we do. But sometimes it's best to stay out of the way of that and let those guys own their successes, own their failures, own their experiences, and they do a great job of that.
Is that something that you had to learn as a coach early on, or how did you come to the realization of I just need to let them do it sometimes, and sometimes I need to do it?
I can't win the games. I've said that many times. Coaches, can lose games, but they can't win them. And at the end of the day, your team has to be able to, punch it over the goal line, so to speak. And so giving them the space to do that, I think, is important. But also continually putting them in positions to be successful and is important as well. But I'd give them a lot of space because they've earned that. They've proven that they know what to do with it.
You went with Gordon at 5 last night for a little while in the second half. What's the trigger for you, when you decide to go that small?
I mean, some of it is the opponent. If they give us a lineup that we think we can do that with. A lot of it's just the mentality of trying to get the best guys on the floor. Not necessarily in that moment. It's just like generally. And the other thing is like we want to be a little bit unpredictable. We want teams to watch us. We want New Orleans watching us right now, not knowing quite what we'll do, when we'll do it. Show a willingness to do it in a lot of different situations. It expands the menu that they have to prepare for. So some of it macro is that, but in a moment it's matchup related. It was foul trouble for Chet in game 2, so it could be a lot of different things.